Hey there, welcome back to Prominence II RPG. Let's talk power. Our power usage is pretty much this ME system. We don't have a whole lot of other machines using power yet. You have the Industrial Revolution, but that's kind of self-powered, or it has its own generator. But we're using about 250 AE per tick, which is about 500 FEs. I think it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Put this over to E power units, which are Forge energy units. Yeah, it's 125. Let's put it there so we can use a consistent energy unit. So a lot of the stuff is used by these pattern providers. We get 25 of them at 12.5 each, and our growth accelerator. Oh, and these ME controllers. And I didn't really need to put 8 of these down. I also don't quite need all of those pattern providers yet, but let's just fix our power situation once and for all. All the power happens down here. We've got 4 vibration chambers. Each of those produce 20 energy units, which is not bad for a power supply. And everything else is coming from this alternator. This is what we had over there. I just moved it over here so it'd be closer to this. I guess this is going to be the power room. This thing's running at 90 RPM, which is giving us 63 FE per tick. I've got a little bit of extra room. This is my water wheels, basically. If I crank this up to the max before it breaks, I've got some machines that aren't running unless they're needed, and they'll tip things over. So let's fix our energy issue once and for all. Let's look in the quest book. Got the Powah mod, which is a really cool power mod. And we start out by getting Powah manual. The word Powah is way too close to my Boston roots, and I got rid of that accent a long time ago. I have a hard time saying Powah because I've trained myself to say the R's on the end of words, and goes against that. This book tells you everything you need to know. All the different types of generators, the Furnator, which burns solid fuel, the magmator, which burns lava, a thermogenerator, which works on heat differential, solar panels, and a reactor. And I think because we have infinite lava right here, with these dripstones and cauldrons going, that's a good amount of lava. I don't know if it is enough or fast enough production of lava to fuel lava power, but we'll see. We're going to go with that. And then there's different tiers of these generators. And the starter always does 4, 16, 40, 160, 400, 1600, and all the way up to Nitro, which is 8000 FE. And no matter which one you look at, they all have that same progression of power until you get to the reactor. And the Nitro reactor is crazy amounts of power. That is also very expensive. Taking another look in the quest book, and see here is our magmator. Just checking to see if we're going to get some free resources. We don't. Now, in order to make these things, we're going to need energized steel, blazing crystal, niotic crystal, spirited, and nitro. And to craft these things, we need this energizing orb, and the energizing orb is powered by these energizing rods. That's a lot of crafting. But thankfully, we have applied energistics. It all starts with this dielectric paste, and then these parts that we use, these dielectric rods and the dielectric casing. With any big major crafting project like this, I usually start by making some patterns. I've already made one pattern for the Nitro magmator to see what we need for this. And it doesn't give us very much of a clue as to how complicated this is going to be, but we do know that the magmator, the Nitro one, requires a spirited magmator. And if we take a look in all these magmators here, the spirited magmator requires the niotic, needs these spirited ingredients. The niotic requires these niotic ingredients. Blazing one, these blazing crystals, hardened steel for the hardened magmator, hardened capacitors, all these different tiers of things. And then it gets easier with these basic ones. These basic capacitors are pretty easily craftable. These other ones, like the blazing crystal, requires using this energizer to make these crystals. So what we're going to do is set up an energizing setup, which is just going to be a whole heck of a lot of crafting. So let's set up all the different patterns for these things in the encoding terminal. And this is going to be a project in and of itself. First, we need a ton of patterns. Hopefully we can make all these things. Missing glowstone. Off to the end to get some glowstone. While we're there, let's be clear about something here. The nitro stuff needs nether stars, and I can get 16 of these nitro crystals, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 for each capacitor, 8, 13. So I need one This one Nitro magmator is going to cost 1 nether crystal. So the way that I've been handling this is I've got I think this one, Fortress. Yeah, I've pretty much flattened out a big part of this nether fortress here. And we're gonna need a bunch of blaze rods and a bunch of wither skulls. And having flattened this out, it's become pretty easy to, oh, babies always drop ahead. Where is that guy? Tell me he didn't jump. Here he is. Are you gonna come down? These baby skeletons always drop a wither skeleton skull. So I had 6. There's the 7th. But yeah, I have already been spending quite a bit of time here, but flattening this thing out has been a pretty great way to get lots of wither skeletons. And we've got a blaze spawner right over here. How am I going to get these? There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get one more skull so we can have an even 9. I've got these rapiers. Someone mentioned in the comments that I can dual wield these things. I have looting 3 on each of them. 9. There we go. We got another one. Okay, let's head back where we have another portal down here. Oh, jeez. Okay, over here, I've made a ladder up to the roof of the nether where we have our wither setup. Right here, it's hard to find a nice spot to set up a wither farm at the roof of the nether, but this one seems to work. It's a spot that has pretty flat right there. So, and just set this up like this. This is pretty simple, a pretty simple setup. This is obsidian, blue obsidian, but it's not going to break from the explosion. It's a sideways wither setup. He spawns, his head goes up into that space up there. And as long as his head is like fully stuck in the bedrock, he's just going to suffocate in there while we beat him up like this. Now, this is noisy, but he's suffocating. And I'll just beat him up here. I can even try the Awakened Lich Blade. Yeah, this is faster. I'm right-clicking on this. Yeah, this thing does some good damage. There's our nether star. Okay, let's do it a couple more times. I won't put you through 2 more of these. There's 3 withers. 3 nether stars, 4 wither eyes, 3 lord souls, and shards of uncertainty. All right, let's head back. Now we've got glowstone. We can make all these patterns now. Okay, we'll put these things in here. And I'm just going to make patterns to craft all these things. So we've already got the Nitro magmator, spirited and biotic. That was blazing, hardened, basic, and starter. And put these into, these are crafting patterns. Now we're also going to need these crystals. These are processing patterns using the energizer. We don't have yet. Need the dielectric casing, both kinds of dielectric rods. We can make the vertical one from horizontal ones. Dielectric paste. Let's use this one since we have lots of lava. An energizing orb. Maybe we'll go up to niotic energizing rods. Oh, we also need these capacitors. Okay, so let's put all these things in here. I'm going to put the crystals in here too, because I think it'll tell us what the crafting recipes and requirements will be, even if it can't craft it until we have the energizer in place. Since we have the energizer in place, we'll move these patterns. Okay, we just need the capacitors. Look at all this crafting. This is insane. We've got all these patterns made, which is all the, I think it's all the things to make these. Let's except for we're still missing some blaze powder. We can get extra blaze powder with this crushing pattern. We're guaranteed 3. So let's just call it 3. I'm right clicking to change the amount. And we'll put that in the crushing wheels. A block of blazing crystals and iron bars. We just need a pattern for those. Crafting recipe and iron bars. So here's all the crafting patterns that we've needed. The Nitro magmator. All right, we've got all of the ingredients and all of the patterns. Each one nether star. However, these crystals we aren't quite set up for because we need to make these energizing rods. Oh, we also need some cables. These different cables transfer power at different rates. And let's go up to Niotic. And they require the tier down cables. So we need to make all these patterns. Let's head downstairs where we're going to build this. So for the energizing orb, we should be able to make all these things by just pushing some buttons now. We don't have to do any crafting. Put this down over here. Make a starter magmator without any energized stuff. So this is how far we can get without the energizing orb. And we need some power for this. So let's put this right here. And let's see if we can fill that with lava automatically. We need an export bus and some Fluix cable, and we'll just pull this straight out of our ME network. Just right click on this thing, put some lava on the export bus. Is that going to fill up with lava? It is filling up. Beautiful. I've got accelerator cards. Let's put some accelerator cards on this thing. And we can make basic cables. We've got cable. Energizing rods are what need power. We make 3 of these. Okay, and now these go. And we'll put one here. And now we can get gold and iron in here. 1 gold, 1 iron. And they turn it into energized steel. Of course, we want to automate this. We'll need a pattern provider, and we'll run this up here. Pattern provider on here. And then we need an export bus. I want to put this below it just to make it clean. Let's grab our patterns and move them to where they'll actually do some work. So we've got this energizing orb added here. So any of these patterns that require energizing, which I think are those 5 things only, put them in here. Okay, I set that up wrong in the first place. We need an import bus on here, not an export bus. And this, we need to filter on these things. So it will not pull out the ingredients. These ghosts. So annoying. So if I just put an energized steel in here, it should just get pulled out. There it goes. Now I'm not sure if I need to turn on blocking mode. Let's turn it off and try crafting one energized steel. I'm going to quickly turn around to catch it. And it worked. It got pulled out. Okay. So now let's make 10. 10 work? I don't think so. I think this thing can only make 1 pattern at a time. So we're going to turn on blocking mode, which I think will pull it out. Yeah, so blocking mode is required because this thing can only make 1 at a time. Got an acceleration card here. We can speed that up a little bit. Okay, we're working. So now we can make any of those patterns. I think we can upgrade now, though. What if we upgrade to a niotic energizing rods? Just watch this work. Let's just make one. It's making the things. I think these don't have enough power. Yeah, it's just working. It's just going to take a very long time. So had we upgraded more slowly, built our way up, we wouldn't have to wait so long, I don't think. I'm glad I didn't make 3 of them. Yeah, it's working on these. Wow, these niotic crystals, taking that long for just one of them. Okay, let's cancel this. That's not wasted. That's some of those things. We've got a hardened energy rod out of this so far. Okay, let's replace. Well, no need to replace. Let's add it over here. See, that speeds that up. We can make a hardened magmator now, which we can add to our setup over here. I'm not sure if power transfers through those. Let's put, yeah, it's not. Each one has to be connected directly. Okay, so the game here is to upgrade these things probably pretty slowly, or we're going to be just spending a ton of time waiting. So let's replace these 3 hardened energizers. We'll reuse these. Oh, blazing. Am I getting greedy here? That's pretty fast. Just with that one hardened one. And we've got 1 blazing. We just don't have enough power to feed these now. Okay, well, we've got 1 more blazing energizing rod. That right here. We need better power supplies, so let's make another magmator. That will take too long. Let's step up to blazing. We've actually got a lot of the stuff already from that failed attempt at crafting these energizing rods. Need an export bus. How's this thing doing? It's crafting 2 more of these blazing crystals. Just need 1 more. There we go. We've got our blazing magmator. This is going to be some good power. Lava. Accelerator cards. Oh, that is all full. We're generating lots of power now. So this holds 40K. This holds 1K, the starter. This holds 10K. So you can see what the process here is. We need to step our way up. And with autocrafting, it's really easy to get ahead of ourselves. Let's put these 2 back into here to use them for crafting. Oh, I'd never even connected this thing to power. So I think if I was going to do this again, I would focus on power sources before focusing on the energizing rods, because we don't need 3. They're just doing nothing. If I break this, it's not slowing this thing down at all. And we have another niotic magmator. Now we've got so much power now. We could trade up one of those niotic magmators for a nitro. But let's just see how long it takes us to make 1. These nitro crystals, 16 of them, are going to take a long time. But we still have everything we need. Let's try it. Got some more hardened, energized rods. Let's see if we can speed this stuff up even more. Oh, it's crafting 16 nitro crystals. Yeah. It takes 1 million FE to make that thing. These are no longer keeping up. All right, let's get ready with one more export bus. There they go. That was the slow bit. The rest of this should happen pretty quickly. Oh, the spirited crystals are not going to be super fast either. We skipped past the spirited magmator, I guess. That's fine. It's just time, which you guys don't have to sit through. Just me. Our lava is getting depleted fairly quickly, but this is a lot of power generation we're doing here. All right, 2 more. We've got our Nitro magmator. We'll drop this right here. There it goes. Okay, finally, we need to take, we can just take this thing offline now. This thing is just not even producing anything interesting. Let's just grab our energy acceptor from here, drop it on here. And if we run just a cable over to here, it should be pulling power from that network through here, just filling up our power. Our energy generation is significantly improved. I think this is limited by the hardened cable. Let's try making a niotic cable. This should be quick. There we go. So if we replace this hardened cable right here, basic cable, it's just basic. Niotic. Kick off some more of that. Now the energy should be flowing in much faster. Yeah, 2,000 energy units per tick. You can't mix energy cable types, apparently. Next, having cleaned this up a bit, we've got 3 niotic rods and nitro magmator with niotic cable. Let's give this thing a stress test and see what it can do. You can see it's filled up. Well, it's filling up these energy cells pretty quickly. So it's busily working here, but keeping up just fine. I've gone ahead and made the crafting patterns for all the different energy cells, which, like the generators, there's different types of energy cells. We can make a nitro energy cell, which will hold 80 million Fe. So let's see what happens with this pretty well upgraded system. Things up to niotic. Let's see if we can make this energy cell. See how long it takes. Let's see what it does. Here we go. It is cranking through these blaze crystals. Cranking through the niotic crystals. Is it done? It's done. We've got the niotic energy cell. Okay. Let's put this right here on our... Oh, I crafted a niotic cell? I meant to craft a nitro cell. Now I don't have enough blaze rods. If I put this niotic cell back into the storage, will it use it to make the nitro cell? It will. And it does use another star. Okay. Let's go all the way to nitro. Pretty fast. It's going to make 12 spirited crystals and 36 niotic crystals. So I think that part's going to be pretty slow. Okay, here's the spirited crystals. I would not call that slow. That's the biggest crafting item right there. The nitro crystals. And our Nitro magmator is not having a problem keeping up at all. The bottleneck is surely these niotic cables and energizing rods. All right. It's about to finish. Okay, now we have a nitro energy cell. It did not take the power from the niotic cell. Okay, let's see how fast our lava is going down. Well, I think we have plenty of lava. If we'd upgraded these cables, this would fill up much faster, but we can wait. We're not in any hurry for that. So what's left is some other blocks like these energy hoppers, charge items, to charge chargeable items, player transmitters. We can charge and discharge wirelessly. At these ender gates, ender cells, which we can use to create a wireless power network. We'll probably want to get into that. But the wireless charging of items, you don't really have much to charge like we do in other mod packs, like an atomic disassembler or, well, I guess the AE2 wireless terminal. That'll be useful to charge wirelessly. So maybe we will set up some wireless player charging. But for now, our power situation is well in hand. We'll upgrade these things further, speed it up, but we're in pretty good shape. And I think that'll do it for this episode. There's a quick first look at Powah, getting from nothing up to a nitro magmator. Depending on your fuel source of choice, you might want to go a different path, whether that's solar or burnable fuels or doing a passive source of power, which is the thermal generator. At some point, we'll make a reactor, but not today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I appreciate you.